All praises to God the Father through his Son Jesus Christ in the Holy Spirit. Hello everyone. This video is about the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verses 1 and 2, the white horse. The four horses of the book of Revelation, of course, are not equine. Those horses represent agencies within our society, governmental agencies, religious, education, and these are agencies that reign over the people. Another thing about the book of Revelation and all these horses is that these events that are spoken of here in the four horses will occur worldwide, sometimes simultaneously, maybe not, but these are all things that affect worldwide. It will have a worldwide effect. Um, and the book of Revelation is a book written especially for people in these end times, which is why nobody before, I'll say maybe 3 years ago, nobody could have um, correctly taught this book, because the things that happened to us within the last 3 years at the beginning of this end time. It's not the beginning of the end time, but these specific events, especially this one with the white horse that we're discussing today, you couldn't have known that these things would happen. So this book is written especially for us where we are right now. Let's go first to the book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. This is was this is what God has to say about horses. And here he's speaking about Egyptian horses. That would be the book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. And I'll read it here. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. When he talks about going down to Egypt for help, he's talking about Egypt is the oppressor. And he says that you're going down to your oppressor, and you stay or depend. When he talks about staying on horses, that stay is like a stay in a lady's undergarment, or a stay in a man's shirt collar, the little piece of plastic or metal that holds the shirt collar tip down. Um, he's saying that you depend on horses, and you trust in chariots that are drawn by the horses. So what are these horses that God is talking about? Well, the horses are agencies um, within a society that have reign over people, like governmental agencies, hospitals, religions, financial. Those are the agencies or the horses that God talks about. And in every one of these horses or agencies have characteristics like a horse. He says in Isaiah 31 that you trust in them because there are many of them. So he's saying that they're big, there are many of them, they are strong, meaning that that they're influential and they're powerful. And so let's get started here with the first horse. The first horse in Revelation 6 and chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Let's read. Here we go. Chapter 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. Verse 2. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. So let's start here with verse 2. And I saw and behold a white horse. So we know these white horses are powerful, and they're big, influential, strong. He's speaking here about the medical industry. Of course, the medical industry. And why a white horse? The white horse is because white is the predominant color in the medical industry. You think about the sterile environment, the white decor in the hospitals, the white linen, white bandages, and the one thing that runs throughout the medical industry, whether it's hospitals or labs, is the white coat. So John, from his vantage point, he's there between, he's looking, he can see just before the second advent and just after the second advent. He sees what he calls a white horse, the medical industry, and white because that is a predominant color. Let's continue here in chapter 6, verse 2. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. The he that sat on him are doctors, nurses, medical assistants. In the instance of the pandemic, they had even the National Guard was a part of it. Um, and the medical industry and doctors and nurses in particular enjoy an almost godlike respect, in that they are thought to give care and save lives. Nurses are like angels. The people feel that way about them. The respect that they get is very high. The medical industry again would include, okay, so doctors, nurses, medical assistants, um, hospitals. Um, just imagine John looking at like a medical, the university medical campus. It's huge. Um, Clinics, and then all the medical organizations, the CDC, the FDA, WHO, the WHO, the AMA, the pediatric associations, medical associations all around the world, to also include pharmacy manufacturers, the many laboratories. It's just, it's huge, and it's worldwide. Millions and millions of these um, agencies are all around the world. And that's what he's seeing. The he that sat on him are many, many people. So let's continue to read. And a crown, and so here we go. And he that sat on him had a bow. So now this had a bow. I looked the word bow up, um, and it has a Greek etymology of toxon, Toxon, which means toxic. If you look the word toxic up in a Webster's dictionary, I was surprised to see the word bow is there. The word and this word toxon and toxic also describe pharmakia. So it's poison. He's saying that the one that sits on this horse, doctors, nurses, whoever those medical people are, have a bow in their hand. Now, another thing about this word bow, why does John call it a bow? Well, if you think about the fact that John does not know what a hypodermic needle is, um, you can understand why he would call it a bow, like an archer's bow. Um, if you hold a hypodermic needle, because the function and the manner of operation is similar, you hold the bow in one hand, you grab the string and pull it back, And this, in the same way, and one would hold a hypodermic needle. The syringe is in one hand, and that plunger has the same operation as the string on a bow. You know, the slow pulling back and the slow replacement. So John doesn't know what he's looking at. And the best point of reference for him would be the archer's bow. That's what he sees. But God lets us know when we look that he's in fact talking about toxon, toxic, and poison. So let's continue to read. And a crown was given unto him. Now, the word corona comes from the word crown, or I should say, the word crown comes from the word corona. And when someone is crowned or given a crown, like when the queen died and her son inherits the crown, he is given the authority. He's given top authority. Um, and that is what happened. Corona gave authority to the medical industry via the Emergency Use Authorization Act. So, through the Emergency Use Authorization, the crown was given to the one who had the poison in his hand and that sat on the white horse. The white horse was given authority through the Emergency Use Authorization. We continue to read, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. The word conquer is an interesting word. I looked it up in a dictionary, and it said one of the definitions was to subdue by mental, moral, or physical force. And that is exactly what happened to us. Mentally, um, there were many commercials. There was threats. Morally, they were, it was said that if you don't take this vaccine, you're putting your grandmother at risk. You're putting the children at risk. Mentally, they hammered you just with the sheer volume of coverage that they gave. Take it, take it, take it. And then physically, um, many people, of course, if you didn't take it, you were threatened with losing your job. Um, and if you have a family, and those people would possibly lose medical insurance. You could lose your home. You could become homeless or without a vehicle. So, yes, God, do you think God would let COVID happen and not tell us all about it? Of course not. And that's what the white horse is all about. Thank you for listening, and God bless us all.